Spontaneous Kriyas. Involuntary movement of the body during meditation and sometimes in ordinary mundane life. What are spontaneous Kriyas? Why do they happen? And is it possible that they are the best thing that's ever happened to you? I know they were for me. Let's get into it. I first started experiencing spontaneous Kriyas in the bathtub. This was many years ago. I couldn't tell you how old I was, but I was enjoying myself, listening to a bunch of meditations, spending hours in the bathtub, and my body started undulating like a snake. It was extremely pleasant, and from that point on, I experienced spontaneous Kriyas in every meditation for many years. Sometimes they were that my head would shake back and forth, sometimes they were vocalizations and I would actually almost yell out. Sometimes they were entire body undulations or my arms raising up. My legs would shake. Most of these felt really good. There were some that were a little painful just because I was holding my body in one uncomfortable position for a long period of time. But the interesting thing about these spontaneous movements was that they evolved over time. For me, they started off only in meditation, and then I started experiencing them throughout my day. I would just have an involuntary movement happen while I was walking or while I was in a conversation. They weren't a big deal. They didn't really bother me. I just found them fascinating. It's really important to know that spontaneous Kriyas may not occur for everyone. I've known people who have been meditating for many years and they've never experienced a spontaneous Kriya. You may never experience these involuntary movements. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean that you aren't going as deep or spirit isn't moving you. It just means that that's not the way that spirit's moving you at this time. Actually, the ideal would be that you are perfectly still and you're not really moving at all. That would be a measure of real depth in meditation. When you are not only still in your body, but you're also in a way unable to think and your breath is very, very subtle. You're barely breathing at all. That's an ideal situation. That means you're very deep in meditation. The spontaneous Kriyas or involuntary movements are not a sign that you're not going deep. They're a sign that you're fully surrendered, that you're allowing life to flow through you. We'll get back to the video in 30 seconds. I've created a free course to help you to live a more enlightened life and create lasting change within yourself and in your life. This course includes 13 of the deepest meditations that will most effectively skyrocket your spiritual growth. These meditations are professionally recorded and can be downloaded to your phone. They come with step-by-step instructions to help you to go deeper than you ever have before. If you want to live in a state of centered peace, no matter what's going on in your life, this free course is a great place to start. Find the link in the description below. My journey started in the bathtub and then it evolved. I was hosting a retreat and I was on a walking meditation. And I wanted to see if these Kriyas could move my legs. So I stood perfectly still and I just spoke to my legs and said, "Move me." And I made the commitment that I would stand in that spot until my legs moved me. And to my utter amazement, they did. I just relaxed my body and my legs started walking. And at first it was really crazy because they were kind of like robot legs and I must have looked really strange, but they did move me and they walked the entire time. And it was almost like my torso was floating through space as these robot legs were just walking. I was so amazed that I actually started to cry. And then that evolved. In that same day, I decided that I wanted to see if I could use them while I'm grocery shopping. I went grocery shopping with my daughter and I commanded my legs to move me and they did. And while in the grocery store, I asked them to find me the perfect dinner. My daughter had separated from me. She was looking for something in the grocery store and my legs were walking me throughout the store and they walked me down a specific aisle and then they turned my body to look at a display of soups. And at that exact moment, my daughter walked up to me and she turned to face the soups and she said, "Oh, what a good idea. We'll cook this for dinner." And she grabbed some organic soup mix and then we get some vegetables and that's what we made for dinner. So my legs not only walked me, but they walked me perfectly to the right dinner for us, and we were able to make a dinner that everybody loved. So they guided me. I was so amazed by this miracle that I wanted to see how far I could take it. I started letting these Kriyas move me all the time in everything that I did, and walking and movement meditations became my favorite thing. I would go on a walking meditation every day to see how much I could allow my legs to move me, how much could I relax and let my arms move, let my head move, let my legs move. And then one day my legs stopped me and they pivoted me into the woods, off the path, and I started doing crazy yoga poses in the middle of the woods. I was doing these yoga positions that were twisting my body in ways that I had never experienced in my life. It was crazy. I loved it. I felt amazing. I could feel spirit moving in me. It felt so effortless. And when my arms would raise up, it would feel like they were on strings being lifted by something. There was no effort at all. They were feather light, completely weightless, really. And more, I just decided to allow these spontaneous Kriyas to take over until now they have taken over my entire life. Even now, as I'm talking on this video, there's no me in here deciding what to say and when to say it. Something's moving and speaking through me. I've been able to allow these involuntary movements, whatever they are, to move me in all that I do, to speak through me, to walk through me, to dance through me. For me, it's a matter of just relaxing and slowing down, kind of being in my body, calm, stable, and then movement just happens spontaneously, automatically. To be honest, I don't know exactly what the spontaneous Kriyas are. I don't know the science behind it. However, I find it really fascinating that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about when his team measures brain waves and takes brain scans when people are in deep meditation, the brain looks more like it's having a seizure. It doesn't look calm. It looks like all of the brain is activated, just like it would be if somebody was having a full-blown seizure. That fascinates me because some of the Kriyas, some of these involuntary movements do look like the body is having a seizure. Another theory that I have is kind of like sound waves. If you look at these videos of sand being moved by sound waves, they make these beautiful patterns. Maybe energy is moving through our bodies and we're making the shape of this energy. It's also possible that these Kriyas are the body's way of purifying energetic blocks, or maybe reorganizing the nervous system. There are so many possibilities. Maybe it's actually a combination of these things. If you are experiencing spontaneous Kriyas, this simply means that you are deep in meditation and you're on the right track. If the Kriyas are too much or they're bothering you, you can actually talk to them. You can tell them to slow down or to stop moving your head back. I remember one Kriya that I was having for a long time was me just throwing my head back and my mouth would be wide open, and the Kriya would have me in that position for like 15 minutes and it would hurt my neck so badly. And this is an intelligent energy, so I trusted that the result would be good, whatever it was doing for my highest good, but it hurt. And I just talked to the divine or spirit or whatever, your unconscious mind, whatever it is that is moving you, and I just asked it not to do that particular Kriya for a while. And it listened. I also make a lot of vocalizations while I'm meditating, so if I happen to be meditating in a place where there are people around, I just ask that I don't make those sounds and that my hands don't raise up and I don't shake, because I like to be a little bit appropriate when I'm in public. One of the things that I discovered that was most helpful in not only allowing Kriyas to do what they wanted to do and kind of be processed in my body, but also just for Kundalini energy or awakening energy in my body in general, to allow it to process, to allow it to do whatever work it's doing in my nervous system or in my energetic body, however you want to see it. I would just lie down and ask this energy to do whatever it needed to do. I'd say, okay, I'm going to play this music for an hour and I'm just giving you full permission, move me. And it always would. And I would get crazy results from this. I'd start arching my back or even yelling out loud. I'd shake and I would feel this fiery energy move through me. And then at the end of the song, however long the song was, maybe an hour, the energy would stop and I'd be able to go about my day. I do feel that you need to allow some time and space for whatever this energy is to be processed. I think it is divine energy that's moving us. It's life force energy that sparks everything into life. When you're in the sympathetic nervous system state, which means that you're stressed out, you're in survival mode, you're not allowing this life force energy to heal you, to move through you, and to kind of unlock your full potential. All of that energy is spent trying to keep you alive, trying to find food or escape from predators. Now that energy is free and it moves through your body. You can be limitless, really. You want to give it the time to do that, to unblock everything that needs to be unblocked in order for you to reach your full potential. I use binaural beats or just meditation music that resonates with me, and I give it about an hour to move through me. Honestly, I don't have to do this anymore. It hasn't been a problem in years for me, but for a while, this Kundalini energy or spiritual energy was so strong in me that it would actually at times paralyze me, or my whole face would contort. In the middle of a conversation, it's almost like I had like a Bell's palsy or something. One side of my face would be paralyzed in the middle of a conversation, and it just was not desirable. It didn't feel good. I know that, of course, like I said, this was and is an infinitely intelligent energy. So the intentions were good. The ultimate outcome was wonderful. I wouldn't change anything. But during the process, some of it was difficult. And I really believe that me giving it the chance to process, me giving it time and space where I was alone and I was just lying down and there was nothing else to do other than let that energy move through me, I think it really helped. I find spontaneous Kriyas to be absolutely fascinating. And like I said, I believe that I've been able to surrender to this life force energy that wants to move in me and speak through me. I've been able to surrender to it so deeply that now I allow it to move me in pretty much everything I do. It's kind of taken over my life. And I believe that that's possible for anyone and everyone, whoever's willing to relax and trust in this flow. And by the way, I have found that to be key. The relaxing of the body and even of the mind, just kind of letting everything just be as it is the very thing that allows the Kriyas to move me. If you want these involuntary movements to move you more and more, that would be my advice. See how deeply you can relax throughout your day, no matter what you're doing. And they may or may not arise. There's nothing you can really do to control this. For some people, it's an ordinary occurrence. They get Kriyas the entire time they're meditating, and for other people, they don't experience them at all. The more desirable thing is to have complete stillness, for the body to actually be sort of frozen. When you're in very deep meditation, it actually feels like you can't move, and your breath is just incredibly soft. And somebody who's watching you might not even know that you're breathing at all. This deep stillness allows you to go very, very deep into meditation. And that's actually the goal. The goal is not to have spontaneous Kriyas. They're just fun. And they're really a sign that you're on the right track. And the more you can surrender to them, I do believe they'll move you more and more. But they're not necessary to have spirit move you more and more. What is necessary is trust, kind of letting everything be as it is, relaxing the body. And you can even take this deeper by being grateful for whatever's in front of you, whatever's going on. Let things be spontaneous because you trust in this flow. And that will help spirit to move you. I hope that this was helpful, guys. For every single one of you who subscribe, Spanky here gets a nice belly rub and maybe a few balls thrown. So make sure that you support him in his mission, and I'll see you next time.